learned kind of intuitively in a way. Yeah. Big console games will, in the franchise like Modern Warfare or a FIFA soccer game, for example, will have different modes within the game that will cater for all the different kinds of player types. The games industry knows it, it's learned it through 20 years of experience. We don't have the luxury of taking clients on a 20-year journey to find out what their kind of player types are like, and this is why we need to fast-track this with robust strategic thinking. So, here's the first two, and we'll go through the 8 typologies in pairs. One of they're kind of, if you like, the soulless and the social kind of counterparts.
Actually, the social and the soulless.
The social and the soul, correct. So, for example, a socialite is someone who's about. The game is all about connecting to people at all our costs. It's almost like getting a fix of other people. The explosion of Draw Something, I think, is just the tip of the iceberg of this new kind of game, which has really been, I think, really facilitated with new mobile and social technologies. This is obviously very common in old school board game world. It's all about being intuitive, reactive, and social, and this is something which is very, very attractive and very interesting to brand owners. You won't be able to read it on here, but we're using data, TGI data, which is a massive consumer survey in the UK. We've guesstimated, as best as we can, the percent of population that fit into these segments. What's interesting about it, we won't bore you with the theory, is because this is what people say about themselves, we don't actually build, we see a great big discrepancy between what people say about themselves and what we find in player data in-game. Yeah. Everyone wants to be a certain way, but it's not necessarily how they are when we observe them in-game.
The habitualists, for example, seek repetitive pleasure feedback, very spontaneously, doesn't really think about it. The image we have here is slots. According to that TGI data, that's only 5% of the UK population. And I think that's probably a much larger number. People aren't how they say they are, they're how they actually act. But we think that this is actually an interesting way to think about what slots are. And most of sort of the simple social and mobile games out there, and some of the gamification stuff that's going on right now, is very much at this kind of habitualist level, where you're kind of giving someone a task to do, and it kind of just becomes part of their sort of reactive day. But we think you can actually take that and then evolve people into different parts of what lies within their mind.
Next up we have collectivist and soloist, and I mean, I suppose collectivist is the heart and soul of where a lot of gamification plays have been at the minute. It's about the person who's out there to follow norms and will be interested in picking up badges and conforming to, I suppose, a socially aspirational state. People who are diligent, they're reactive, and they're fundamentally social. The flip side of that, though, which is soloist, which is people who